Hello everyone, I'm Fisty McRib, and today we are going to take a trip to the Lucky Hole Mine in Fallout 76. This is where all the lead lives. If you've been running around picking up weights, looking for paint cans, those days are over. This is where you want to be. Lucky Hole Mine is located just southwest of Fort Defiance. We'll go ahead and fast travel in now. When we get here, we're just going to take a walk up past some abandoned shacks. There isn't really anything going on here. But as we get a little closer to the entrance, we'll start running into some Mothman cultists. I do believe this area will sort of level to you, but be prepared for some higher level enemies. With that said, cultists aren't all that scary. As with any resource run I make, my advice is grab everything. We're here for lead, which we're going to use to make ammo. And for ammo, we also need steel. So grab their weapons, grab their armor. Pick up basically anything you see laying around. This area here, there's not a whole lot of useful stuff here. So I'm going to pick through it just for the sake of showing it. But you're not going to be heartbroken if you skip this and kind of zip right into the mine itself. Making our way back into this warehouse here, you will see some steel and things like that you can pick up. Let's go ahead and grab all this and head on inside. When we first get inside, we'll find a couple of offices and a locker room we can loot. There are some desk fans here, so we can pick up some screws and springs and things like that. So let's go ahead and just pick our way through these. Take out the rad roach. Some toilet paper here for your display cases, because that's still funny. Just grab what you can. And we can hear some Mothman cultists chanting and raving like lunatics just beyond where we're at now. Kill our light and stay stealthy. Take care of that rad roach. Loot another cultist, and there's usually one up at the top of these steps here. We will relieve that one of his head. Finish looting. Drop down, and then there is another area here. You can't get into this room other than dropping down into it. Sometimes there's power armor there, so if you need that or a fusion core, you can grab it. Pull that chain, and then you can make your way out. Before we do that, we're going to put on our excavator armor. Excavator armor is very important in here. Now, for myself, I'm not a big fan of wearing power armor. I typically don't. I stay nice and sneaky. But when we're mining, our excavator armor is going to produce a lot more ore, and that's what we're here for. So we want to wear that. You'll find if you come through here without your excavator armor, maybe you'll find 100 lead ores, where with your excavator armor, you're going to yield, on average, about 400, sometimes a little better. Go ahead and eat and drink and make sure that's not getting in our way. And the initial part of the mine, there isn't really anything too special here. First aid kit, a little bit of junk, maybe an ammo box. We're not going to dwell too much there. Take a look here. Sometimes enemies spawn there, but I haven't seen that for a while. Now, when you get here on your left, you're going to see this blue door with a level 2 lock. You don't need to unlock it. You'll make your way through the mine just fine without it. Take care of some bone charms, and we find our first set of Mothman cultists deep in the mine here. We will send them to their leader. And there's some more coming up here. We'll go ahead and take care of any threats that are here. You'll see these guys tend to be fairly high level, but Mothman cultists and other human enemies aren't particularly tough, so anybody with a mid to high level character should have no trouble coming through here. And then we see our first area to mine some lead. There's a cultist totem there as a bit of a landmark. These little alcoves tend to have 4 pieces in them. I hear another cultist, but I don't see him yet, so we'll just go ahead and mine. General rule of thumb as you go through here is look for everything. You don't want to miss any, but at the same time, you can come back here every day. So if you miss one, it's not the end of the world. If you really can't find it, just move on to the next one. There's plenty of lead in here. And the second alcove has another 4 lead nodes in it. We'll go ahead and take those. And I know the mining part of this is a bit slow-paced, but I do want everybody to be able to see where these spots are. Everybody knows that Lucky Hole Mine is a good place to get lead, but a lot of people don't know all the spots where you grab it, so I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to see it. And we take out a couple other enemies. No big deal. And then we find another little alcove here where there'll be another 4 lead nodes to mine. And this one has one on the ceiling, don't forget that. And you can see sometimes they kind of hide among the rocks, so you do have to look a little bit. Your first couple of trips through here will probably take a little while, but after you've done it a few times, you'll be in and out of here in probably 10-15 minutes tops. We'll make our way a little deeper in the mine. There's really not much to worry about in this part. Come up on a cultist here. Take care of business. Find a little bit of lore there if you want to pursue that. And here we see another locked door. It's a level 1 lock. Again, really no reason to unlock it. That ends up being an exit out later if you choose to use it. We'll just end up fast traveling out. As we approach here, we see a couple of metal pails. We want to take those, and that's also a bit of a landmark. We have some lead on the right here. 2 nodes. And we can hear some more cultists. Let's go ahead and send them to their final destination. This time we even get a 3-star legendary cultist. That's actually a pretty common sight in here, so even more incentive to come mine at Lucky Hole Mine, because not only will you get tons of lead, but you'll also probably get some legendaries. And here we can continue along the right side of the wall. We'll find some more lead nodes, and then there's 2 in the water here. 1 there, and 1 there. Go ahead and let that cultist give a charitable donation. And we have some lead on the left side wall here too. So make sure you catch that. That's an easy spot to miss. And we'll continue looting everybody. Mutant Switchblade, that's not a terrible drop. So here we see a little bit of a forked path. We're just checking for some extra lead, just in case. Here, we want to take the left path. If we take the right, there isn't really anything down there other than crystal ore. There's reasons to get crystal ore. If you use a cryolator or some energy weapons, you might like to have it. But for the most part, we're really here just for lead. We've got some more cultists up in the distance here. We'll take care of business. And clear our path. That's where we're eventually going to head. But first, let's go ahead and loot these cultists. There's a little bit of an altar here. Some cultist blades hanging on it you can grab if you want. This is a really cool area. There's a lot here to look at, a lot here to take in. We'll keep looting our corpses. We find some dead settlers that managed to find their way down here. If we look around, we can see you've got your big metal head, all the really creepy Lovecraftian Dunwich stuff that we've come to expect in Fallout. And there is a little bit of lead in this spot. So you want to go ahead and grab that. I think it's only 3 nodes there. They usually come in 4s, but I've yet to find a 4th, so I'm fairly certain you can grab those 3. And then we'll make our way down the other branch of the cave here. So here, we want to slow down, and you see some brush hiding a secret path. If you miss this spot, you're going to miss a lot of lead, and it's really easy to miss. So we want to go ahead and loot that. There is lead on both sides going down this passage here. Keep an eye out for it on our way down and on our way back out. You can see right there, it's easy to miss it when you're just looking straight ahead. This area is very tight and confined, and even though it's just a game, it still makes me feel claustrophobic. But I'm sure we'll be okay. As we get to the end here, you'll find 1 cultist. Go ahead and loot them. And here we find some junk, some chems. We had a little bit of a drug operation going on here, I guess, either before or after the war. Some more junk here. There is always a ritual mask that spawns there, so if you need one or you want one or you want 12, now you know where to go get them. And there's also a steamer trunk. That steamer trunk's not bad. Sometimes there's weapon plans, armor plans, interesting stuff that can be in there. And that's our workbench. We're going to go ahead and take one more secret detour here. So we go back out this passageway, we see another area covered with brush. Push our way through there. We're going to go a little deeper here. Now, there's no lead in this section of the mine. What we're going to find is the deep, dark secret of Lucky Hole Mine. We now have some cultist worshippers here. And we'll find that this is where the interloper corpse lives, or maybe it's not a corpse. We don't know yet.
You cannot extinguish the divine light. Holy Mothman, take me.
So I always come down here to loot them and see if any of them turn out to be legendary. This is a very, very creepy spot. Lots of big metal heads on the wall. We have the interloper on the ground. I think most people have seen that at this point. So, nothing new, but I don't think Visit to Lucky Hole Mine in a YouTube video is complete without paying our respects to the interloper. So we'll make our way back out. And this gets a little confusing. It gets easy to get turned around here. And from here, we'll take a left and make our way back into the drug den we found earlier to scrap everything we've picked up so far. Now, we aren't done in here just yet. We're going to make our way back to the main passage. Double checking for any lead we might have missed on the way. There's no more other junk to pick up, but we will pick up a little more lead before we go. Now here we'll take a right, and we will see some lead nodes here. There will also be some crystals, so only grab what you actually need. and we can hear some cave crickets. We got lucky on this visit. Cave crickets drop acid, which will be very helpful in smelting the hundreds of lead ores we're picking up. So these two are locked behind this gate. Sometimes you can kind of bait them into clipping through it and coming out. We didn't get lucky with that this time, but we have a couple more here. And then we'll go open the gate once we know we're not going to get surprised. That sounds like there might be one more down here. Oh, two more. That's good. More cave crickets, the better. So after we loot them, we'll make our way back up to the door. And here I'll check my notes. And yes, the code for the door is 238963. I'll go ahead and put that in the notes for the video as well, so you can reference it later. We'll make our way inside here. Take care of these cave crickets. That's really what we're in here for. I don't typically open that door and come back here when I come through Lucky Hole Mine, but just for the sake of seeing what's here, you can see there's nothing special. A couple of grenades, some random loot. Unless you are really looking for crystal, then unless there's cave crickets there, there's really not any reason to unlock that door. After that, we have cleared all the lead ore. We'll make our way back out and just take a look at our Pip-Boy here to see how much we picked up. This visit, we got 464 lead ores. That is fantastic. We'll go ahead and feed and water ourselves here and fast travel back to camp and smelt that ore down and see what that turns into. Now, before we do any smelting, we want to change some perks around. Now, typically when I do this, I'm going to make ammo right away. So I'll go ahead and put my Ammo Smith perk on just so I don't forget. But in this case, we're not going to make ammo. We're just going to smelt the ore. Even still, we want to make sure we put on Super Duper. That'll help us maximize our take. And we'll fast forward through me clicking a button 231 times. And with that, we'll open our Pip-Boy and see that that turned into 1,489 lead scraps. That's what we're going for. A whole lot of lead in a little bit of time. That's going to make a lot of bullets real fast. And that will bring us to the end of today's video. Now, if you're thinking, hey, thanks for showing me where to get all that lead, but I need acid to smelt it with, you're probably not alone. We're going to cover that in a future video where I'll show you all the little things I do to keep a big stockpile of acid, so I always have it. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, go ahead and drop a like or subscribe. Go ahead and share it with your friends. It's always appreciated. And be sure to come back next time for more Fallout 76 videos.